Hey guys, some gamer dude here. So I was discussing this topic last night, with a friend online. It's came up in one of Rudy's videos recently, and I ended up somewhat. I guess it was involved in a conversation with a different friend online this morning, and that topic is casual play, and by extension, competitive play. Now, if you've seen Alpha Investment / Rudy's recent video about how card stores make more money selling snacks and drinks, he basically tells you the truth. Since when we were kids, the card stores have changed a lot. I mostly went to card stores in the early 2000s because I didn't really get involved with playing until the early 2000s. I was more interested in collecting until Dragon Ball got around Cell and Yu-Gi-Oh came out. Played a little bit of Pokemon from base set onwards until EX, which was when I finally got serious into it. And this actually kind of also leans into that. What do you actually find fun about a TCG? What's the thing that keeps you there and draws you in? And honestly, and for lack of a better word, because this is probably going to upset some people because the word that has to be used, but I can't really think of another one. The necessity of segregation. So back in the day, we'll lead into the hot topic, but back in the day, card stores were a lot more casual. You didn't have online. You didn't have really easy access to singles unless the store had it in stock. Even then, they were usually a bit more pricey than they are now. Most people just traded and made do with what they had. They had fun. And the whole scene, until you got up to a certain level for the majority of players, was far more casual. Getting cards was harder. And this might have been rose-tinted glasses, but it was more about the meeting new people, having it fun, enjoying the game, and spending time with others, people you enjoy, the company of. It was really a different time before everyone became this aggressive, card sharky type mentality. I don't think anyone really had discussed to death the topics of is my deck ideal, whatnot. It was mostly just, I want to play X, I need cards to update deck. It wasn't this is the ideal deck I'm aiming for, I want to just go buy it. And as I said, a lot of people just drew fun from just having fun playing the game and spending time with friends. It wasn't this competitive aspect. And there's still a lot of people that enjoy that aspect about card games. These are the casuals. And according to Wizards Analytics, and this is actually one thing I don't disagree with them on, most people are casual. They can't afford, for a start, the high levels of play, even though the majority of them are somewhat whalish in tendency. Whale being a term from any of these abusive product systems like TCGs and mobile games where people just spend tons and tons of money. They're a whale, they're a big source of income, because whales are big animals. Yeah, and you're seeing a lot of people just gradually retreat to things like Commander for Magic, tabletop play, kitchen tabletop play at home. You're seeing events gradually die because the mentality of the card shop is changed. Well, it has changed. It changed a lot. I'd say it changed a hell of a lot when I'd say around the late 2000s, not 2000s is the millennium, the decade of the 2000s, before the 2010s, when the internet really started hitting its stride and becoming mainstream, or at least mainstream enough to order cards on. It started, you started having a lot more people, a lot more aware. A lot of the people from back in the day had grown up and had enough money to splash on really expensive cards or huge amounts of bulk product. And it kind of, and they're all obsessed with winning. That's what they derive fun from. That's not a problem. That's just their prerogative. That's their choice. That's what they get enjoyment out of. I'm not ragging on them for it. And obsessed with cashing out. Now, Wizards have said that between the internet making deck lists far more easier to grab, and this type of mentality, it's ruined TCGs to a certain degree. And I agree with that. It's made a lot of things very unenjoyable. You have to spend more than you really want to. You don't support your local card store in a lot of ways. They're becoming destitute in many ways. And it's just not as fun anymore. Everyone's has the knowledge. Knowledge is a powerful tool, but it's really not good in this scenario. Coming with that, you have the online buyers and whatnot. It's there's a lot of aspects to the problems that online have caused. But gradually over time, card stores have become more competitive based. And this is where segregation, I think, has to become a topic. Yes, I know it's a triggering word, but it's something one of my locals does. And I think it might actually be the best way to handle things. For a lot of Magic events, they have a casual flight and a serious flight. So the casual players, such as myself, have the opportunity to play in the type of format that they want, with less stakes, more just, I guess, fun is the experience, and spending time with friends, and not being, I must defeat you to make my money back, and or I must win these prizes thing. It's just, again, a more casual format. And then later on, they have the serious format. I've never been to it. I don't know what it's like, but I just assume it's more only the top players cash out of it. And that's probably what the more competitive players want. And here, I think that might be the answer. That might be the answer to everyone's woes. Except the card store, because now they have to put on more events. Which means more staff time, more time they just might not have. And especially as there's more card games that launch every 5 seconds, especially all the Duel Masters clones, except Duel Masters, Hasbro Wizards, for the love of God, bring back Duel Masters, not Kaijudo, proper Duel Masters. Anyway, as things expand, there's just not the time or space for it. So, who do we cut off? That's actually a really good question. Which is, if you don't have time for everyone, which is the gangrenous limb that has to be cut off? Now, that's actually a really interesting subject in itself, because it's well known that the casual players make up most of the market, and casual players are the more likely to just buy boosters. I think I've gone across this by now. It might be in a later video. That sealed boosters, regardless, are a waste of money, but casual players like them, and they're right to like them. The only reason that they're a bad buy or anything is because of badly constructed sets, rarity, and the secondary market, causing certain anomalies where the cards outside of certain ones are worthless. Again, thank you, Internet. Back in the day, even standard rares used to be worth a couple of bucks. Used to get a little bit of your money back. The casual players just spend more, to be quite frank. Most competitive players just go online or go around to their friends who are whales and just buy up what they need as singles and that they know is competitive, i.e. their net deck. Again, not knocking them. If that's what you get fun out of, that's your personal deal, and there's nothing wrong with it. But they don't spend massive amounts like casual players. Casual players only start to become wise with their money when they are becoming aware they're throwing good money after bad. And yeah, I know this is really hard to say, but what benefits do competitive players actually give the game? I'm seriously asking this. People ragging on Pokemon right, left and centre because it's competitive is barely competitive. Honestly, the game isn't even competitive. I've said this before. It's a donk fest. The whole thing about the game is who can load up their field and donk the fastest. It always has been. That's why fast, small things that were basics used to be really efficient. And why it's kept popping up, to be honest. Because you don't have to evolve to get up to big donking. But Pokemon, well, it spikes when new generations come out. It just seems to do well for itself all the time. And it doesn't... Yeah, competitive Pokemon exists, but it's not really... I guess the stakes aren't as high, and, well, outside of the trip. I don't remember if you have to pay for it or not for Pokemon. And, yeah, it's always just a much more casual environment. And that's one of the better things about it. I guess in a lot of ways, that's what keeps player retention. Yes, Magic had its spike. Magic's always been bigger because of its initial release being, 5 years earlier in the West? 6 years? But it's always been very, very popular. And it never seems to really slump enough. Even with Wizards sabotaging it. I think I've gone over this, went over this a very long time ago now, where I talked about how Wizards treated Pokemon. Even with the Wizards basically sabotaging it at the end, Pokemon bounced back. It always bounces back. It always gets a spike from new generations. And people seem to just always gravitate towards it. It doesn't matter that it doesn't have competitive play. It's a mixture of the game. Yeah, it's not competitive. It's a donk fest, but it is fun in its own way. It's casualness is probably, and the fact it's not as I guess random chancy, because a lot of games like Duel Masters and Vanguard can be very random chance. The fact that it's casual, but has the luck chances, the luck infliction upon Pokemon is very minimum. I think that's what keeps it going. But herein lies another problem. Card stores just can't go and say, oh, you're playing this, you can't play. That's really harsh. And it's just straight up telling people, no, we don't want your patronage. So where are they left? And maybe Pokemon is the answer, in that it's a casual game and just very casual. It's very cheap as well. All things considered, I was looking over Pokemon cards recently because I got really bored and needed to... well, actually, it was for that one about Vanguard drop rates. I was comparing some prices, and Pokemon's really affordable. The highest, most expensive cards I was seeing that weren't like Super Special, Secret, Ultra, whatever rares, were the standardized ultra rare with the one full art, and they were going for like a maximum of 12 Australian dollars. I'm like, gee whiz, that is really affordable. I remember back in the day where this wasn't the case. And apparently, ever since the Mewtwo EX debacle, Pokemon's been really trying to keep things affordable. I guess a mix of a casual game, not many stakes to win, and keeping things affordable probably keeps Pokemon in a better place. Does this mean I'm going to rush out and go, oh my god, I want to be a Pokemon master for like what must be 5th time in my life? No, not really, because I find that level of, I guess, casualness myself kind of tedious. I've grown really accustomed to instant speed and triggered abilities. I like all those type of things in my game. But I can respect what Pokemon's doing. And I think there's a reason why it's spiking again. I don't think it's just the politics of Wizards of the Coast or the politics there. I don't think it's just the link summoning. I don't think it's that every game that's new is Duel Masters clones. I don't think it's whatever the hell's going on in Vanguard, because a friend of mine told me in my comments and then clarified it in a personal message that Vanguard didn't get the price jack in America, and that pissed me off learning that, to be honest. I don't like being taken for a ride. Anyway, this has been some Gamer Dude, and I'll see you guys next time.